Benjamin Carter had lived quietly in Clearwater Harbor for decades. Each morning before dawn, he would set out to sea, his weathered hands guiding the wooden boat he had crafted after returning from Vietnam. In a town increasingly overrun by luxury developments and tourists, he was a fading relic, respected by a few, unseen by most. His vessel, Liberty Belle, was no showpiece. Its paint was faded by salt and sun, its wooden hull groaning under the weight of years. But it was sturdy, built with care and love, plank by plank. A sanctuary where Benjamin could escape the war that still haunted his dreams. Benjamin never spoke of his service. Locals only knew he had been Navy. On still nights, when he slept aboard, his screams carried faintly across the harbor. Most people ignored them. That Wednesday started like any other. Benjamin had just finished tying off when he heard the deep rumble of engines. Around the bend came the Celestia, a massive, gleaming yacht, piloted by Connor Hayes, a tech magnate recently hailed as the town's savior. Benjamin waved frantically, trying to signal his position. But Hayes, laughing with his guests over champagne, either didn't see or didn't care. The harbor security boat sat nearby, its officer watching but unmoving. The collision was inevitable. A crunch of splintering wood, a sickening jolt. Benjamin barely leapt clear as Liberty Belle shattered under the Celestia's steel hull. His flag, his faithful companion for decades, ripped free and sank into the foam. The engines cut. Over the stunned silence came Hayes' irritated voice. "It's just an old fishing tub. Get over it." Benjamin stood on the dock, hands trembling, staring at the remains of his boat. No one moved. Phones were raised. Smirks passed between tourists. Silently, Benjamin limped along the dock, retrieving his soaked flag from the water, cradling it like a fallen brother. His face was unreadable. The harbor returned to its noise and bustle within hours. Online, a video of the crash went viral, captioned, "Old man, old boat, old news." Laughter filled the comment sections. That evening, Benjamin sat at his kitchen table, the old flag folded beside him. His grandson Dylan paced angrily. "You're gonna sue, right?" Dylan demanded. Benjamin shook his head. "He didn't hit me. Only something nobody cared about." Later, alone, Benjamin opened his logbook. After 40 years of daily entries, he wrote simply, "First day without Liberty Belle. No condolences, but I can still hear the water calling." The local news ran a glowing piece about Hayes' yacht, the biggest ever to dock at Clearwater Harbor. No mention of the destroyed fishing boat. The harbor master called, regretful but firm. The insurance wouldn't pay. Benjamin's vessel, he was told, wasn't compliant with modern standards. Standing on his porch that night, Benjamin unfolded his retired Navy flag and let the sea breeze touch it once more. The absence of Liberty Belle ached like a phantom limb, but the sea had not forgotten him. The next morning, thick fog cloaked the harbor. As Benjamin sipped coffee, the harbor horn blasted, 3 long notes. Out of the mist emerged 6 Navy ships, flags at half-mast. Silent, solemn, unannounced, the town gathered. Shopkeepers closed early. Children were hushed. On the lead destroyer's deck stood Rear Admiral Ethan Marshall, dressed in ceremonial whites, cradling a folded flag. Benjamin, heart pounding, made his way to the docks. The crowd parted instinctively. The admiral saluted crisply. "Chief Petty Officer Carter," he called out. "Permission to come ashore and render honors?" Benjamin returned the salute, voice steady. "Permission granted, Admiral." The admiral descended, followed by a color guard. His voice carried across the silent waterfront. 43 years ago, during a storm in the South China Sea, Benjamin Carter manually sealed a ruptured compartment, saving 126 shipmates. He sustained burns to 60% of his body. He never sought recognition, only asked that the fallen be remembered. A murmur swept through the crowd. Now they saw the faint scars along Benjamin's neck. Yesterday, his vessel was destroyed without respect. Today, we correct that. A sailor presented Benjamin with a plaque salvaged from a decommissioned ship for Benjamin Carter, who kept faith with the sea and his brothers. The ship saluted. The crowd followed. Across the world, social media exploded, not with mockery, but reverence. Hashtag veteran salute replaced mockery. People deleted their comments, ashamed. Connor Hayes, still aboard his yacht, paled. Afterward, Admiral Marshall approached Benjamin. "Your grandson told us," he said. "Why didn't you call?" Benjamin shrugged. "It was just a boat." "No," the Admiral said. "It was never just a boat." In the following days, the town changed. Locals greeted Benjamin with newfound respect. Tourists paused by the dock to read the new plaque. Children gathered after school to hear his stories, to learn the ancient knots and the rhythms of tides. One afternoon, little Emma asked him bluntly, "Are you mad at the man who broke your boat?" Benjamin considered. "No," he said. "If not for him, maybe no one would have remembered." Days later, Connor Hayes approached Benjamin at the docks, uncomfortable and alone. "I came to apologize," he said, offering an envelope. "Blank check. Name your price." Benjamin shook his head. "Money can't fix what was lost." "Then tell me how to fix it," Hayes pleaded, sincerity breaking through his arrogance. "Build a bench," Benjamin said, "facing the sunrise. Carve 3 words, sit. Remember, thank." Within a week, the bench was installed, solid teak, bronze letters that would weather but not fade. Word spread. News outlets picked up the story. Veteran declines fortune, asks for memorial instead. Benjamin, however, remained unchanged. He preferred teaching knots to children, telling stories to anyone willing to listen. Weeks later, a surprise arrived. A brand new wooden boat, crafted by veterans, townsfolk, and students. On its stern, gleaming under fresh varnish, Liberty's spirit. Benjamin stood speechless as Dylan led the boat to the dock. "It's based on your plans, Grandpa," Dylan said. "We added modern safety gear, but the soul is yours." As Benjamin stepped aboard, the deck rocking gently beneath him, the town cheered. His hand found the new flag snapping proudly at the bow. That evening, Benjamin sat on the new sunrise bench. A young father knelt nearby, reading the words to his daughter. "It means we should stop sometimes and be grateful." Benjamin smiled, eyes misty as he watched the horizon, where sea met sky. In a world obsessed with progress, he had become a living reminder. Slow down. Honor what built you. Respect what matters. He hadn't just lost a boat. He had sparked a renaissance of gratitude, remembrance, and quiet resilience. He hadn't demanded justice. He simply picked up the flag and walked away. And the next morning, the sea remembered him.